Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Seth Rollins meets with Vince McMahon is going to WrestleMania. Seth Rollins is going to WrestleMania 38. As noted over the weekend, WWE did a social media angle where Rollins revealed a text from WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, who wanted to see him first thing Monday morning at WWE HQ. In an update, WWE released a video of Rollins meeting with Mr. McMahon, which can be seen on social media. The video shows Rollins interrupting McMahon in his office and immediately annoying him. Vince said he's surprised Rollins didn't win his way into WrestleMania, blaming a lot of failures, and said Rollins should have just asked him to go to WrestleMania instead of jumping through so many hoops. Vince then said this year's WrestleMania is different from others because it's the most stupendous of all time, and that means it would be a good idea to have Rollins on the card. Vince said if Rollins were to be on the card, he'd need to be in his own main event. Vince declared that Rollins is going to WrestleMania but did not name an opponent and said he was busy, dismissing Rollins from his office. Rollins asked about his opponent and Vince said it would be someone he chooses, but Rollins won't find out who it is until he's waiting in the ring and the opponent is introduced. Rollins ended the segment by shaking Vince's hand. Vince warned him and said he better not disappoint. Rollins then danced his way around Vince's desk and jumped on it to celebrate. As we've noted, the plan is for Cody Rhodes to make his WWE return at WrestleMania 38 as Rollins' opponent. WWE is expected to continue teasing Rhodes throughout the week, but he did not appear on last night's WWE Raw, and he will not appear until next Saturday's event. Rhodes is expected to be a member of the Monday Night Raw roster going forward. Besides the match with Rollins, he is also booked for the post-WrestleMania Raw next Monday. Tony Khan reportedly has a heated discussion with top AEW star. AEW President, CEO, General Manager and Head of Creative Tony Khan reportedly had a heated discussion with MJF over the weekend. We noted last week how MJF spoke with Ariel Helwani to discuss interest from WWE, his AEW contract status, Cody Rhodes' departure, his relationship with WWE executive Bruce Pritchard and other topics. Now, Fightful Select reports that Khan took issue with the interview being set up without notifying AEW's PR team. The interview led to a conversation between Khan and MJF over the weekend, which reportedly left both men frustrated. It was noted that MJF's contract status has also caused the young top AEW star to be frustrated as of late. AEW sources said they did not think there would have been an issue with the subject matter of the interview if it was set up with AEW's PR team first. MJF confirmed during the interview that his AEW contract expires on January 1st, 2024, and admitted that he's not afraid to, quote, stir the pot until then. Quote, so when you're as talented as over as much of a draw as me, if I want to, I can bite off Tony Khan's fingers. He knows where his bread is buttered, MJF said. And if that offends somebody in the locker room, which I know it does, oh wow, cry about it. Get more over than me. Oh wait, that's right, you can't, because I'm literally the best talker in the business and one of the best wrestlers in the history of the business bow to bow. Regarding WWE interest, MJF said that he knows for a fact that the company is interested, but he can't discuss why for legal reasons. Quote, again, I know for a fact. It's already been leaked several times, he said, and even if it wasn't leaked, I would have known, but legally I cannot discuss why. MJF also said he knows Khan is doing all he can to keep him in AEW, but he made it clear that he will be wrestling, quote, wherever the money is, come the summer of 2024. I will be wherever the money is, MJF said. I am leaning, but I can't say which way, but I'm certainly leaning. There is a front runner, and I'm not quite sure it's the one people would expect, but yes, there is a front runner. In an update from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the issues that arose between Khan and MJF, quote, are now said to be settled, end quote. Meltzer noted that although the story is true, there was no fight or physical altercation between MJF and Khan. Bobby Lashley to make ring return at WrestleMania 38. Omos vs. Bobby Lashley is now set for WrestleMania 38. Lashley has been out of action since the WWE Elimination Chamber in February, where he lost the WWE title to current champion Brock Lesnar after being pulled from the Chamber match due to a legitimate injury suffered the month before in the Royal Rumble title victory over Lesnar. Lashley reportedly did not need to undergo surgery for the shoulder injury, but he is returning ahead of schedule as there was talk of the veteran superstar being on the shelf for around 4 months. Last night's Raw saw Omos win another handicap match, this time over the Viking Raiders. The quick match was awkwardly ended in a countout after Omos dropped Eric and sent him to the floor. Kevin Patrick interviewed Omos after the match and he dismissed the idea of anyone being able to stand up to him at WrestleMania 38, touting how he is still undefeated and able to dominate everyone. Lashley's music hit and out he came to a babyface pop with no sign of MVP. Lashley and Omos went at it, and while Omos dominated at first, Lashley ducked a clothesline and finally knocked the big man off his feet with a collision in the middle of the ring. Omos yelled back at Lashley from ringside while Lashley taunted him from the ring. Fans chanted Bobby as he looked up at the WrestleMania 38 sign, and Omos nodded in agreement. Omos has had numerous singles and handicap matches since defeating his former tag team partner AJ Styles on the January 3rd Raw episode. He is undefeated in singles action since the August 30th victory over John Morrison on Monday Night Raw, but before that he had only had one TV singles loss, and that was to current Raw Tag Team Champion Randy Orton on the August 16 episode of Raw. WrestleMania 38 will take place this Saturday, April 2nd, and this Sunday, April 3rd, from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Bianca Belair reacts after cutting Becky Lynch's hair on WWE Raw. Bianca Belair cut some strand off Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch's hair on this week's Raw. The incident occurred after Lynch and Belair brawled in the ring 5 nights before their WrestleMania 38 match. After striking Belair with a steel chair, Lynch pulled out a pair of scissors and tried to cut off Belair's braid. Belair retaliated by hitting Lynch with 2 KODs before grabbing the scissors. She then proceeded to cut Lynch's hair. The segment ended with Lynch seething on her knees as the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Later on Raw, an enraged Lynch referred to Belair as a bitch in a backstage segment interview. On Raw Talk, Bianca Belair held up Lynch's hair as a trophy while speaking to Sarah Schreiber. Quote, "Tonight was wild," Belair admitted. "I thought I'd seen all of Becky's tricks, but never in a million years did I think she'd show up with a pair of scissors to try and cut my braid. I've told her so many times already, don't you dare touch my braid. And she dared anyway. This is what happens." Belair concluded, quote, "If Becky hasn't learned yet, there's nothing she can do to stop me from taking her title at WrestleMania." Belair vs Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship is set for WrestleMania Saturday on April 2nd. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.